So let's talk about sales for a minute. At what point in your digital content strategy and digital plan do you bring the sales team into the conversation? At the start, at the middle, once it's built, show them how they can monetize it? At where in this meeting that we're holding in our heads right here, would they become a part of the plan?
I think it's when they do realize that they're not just selling widgets and or impressions, they're selling access to your audience. Like the advertiser, if they're asking about doing an integrated plan or integrated digital plan or whatever with your website, they already see the value in that. So that's something huge for your sales team to understand, that this is access to our audience beyond the on-air signal.
And I think it depends on company, it depends on, even within the company, it depends on the market, it depends on the team. At Atlanta Radio, I strongly was a strong proponent of no selling social. It was just, I think when you're on WSB News Talk, WSB's Facebook page, like an ad for Target in amongst, all the news is not what people come there for. For me, I wanted to stay true to what the brands and what you expect from the brands. So you wouldn't be on News Talk and then have a story about Rihanna unless just an entertainment. Rihanna and Drake are dating, not for WSB. As much as you wouldn't have that on 97.1 The River. To me, I wanted to stay true. So to help, but not to say that that's right for everybody. It was just for us because we had other strong digital products that we can sell. But we created an ads account for Twitter. So when they wanted sponsored tweets, we would retweet the ad. So it would be WSB ads or WSB radio ads, and then WSB radio would retweet the ad. So to me it was kind of cheating, but it kind of made everybody happy because they got to tweet on the company or on the station, the property's Twitter, but it was done differently. And again, that's something that, if you can, we all need revenue, so that may or may not fly. But again, it's sitting down and talking with your market manager. But I think you need to have the plan first. Because it is content based, and it's not that it's anything against sales. It's just it's a content, social and your O&Os. That's content based, and then how can we bring sales in would be a better look for it.
That's some Jedi stuff right there. The ads that you're retweeting.
Yeah, that took a lot of convincing.
Right
I was like, so what happens if we take an account and then we retweet it? That's just like posting it, right?
And that worked?
Yes.
Is it still working?
I believe so.
Well, you used past tense when you said you used to be against sponsored content and social. Has that changed?
No.
So you're still fighting the good fight.
But I live over in the technology world where I don't have to deal with that.
So you get vetoed is what you're saying?
Now I have vendors where we can bring revenue opportunities to the company.
So you're uncool with it, but you're doing it.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I think that's a fair comment. There's a lot of programming people in the room. It's like, no, I don't want to put that into my Facebook feed.
Again,
but we promised it.
But you have to have a reason to do it. Like, and again, we're all from different, places, and I happen to work for a great company, and we have a lot of digital resource, and we'll kind of get into this as well, that we're not necessarily doing all of it right. Don't get me wrong. It's not that, we have a technology team and we're just knocking it out of the park. I know, but it's just, you got to do what's good. Again, Long Island or Tampa or Orlando have a different sort of local strategy which works for them, which is great. But in Atlanta, we were just doing it differently. And I know Cumulus sells social, and it doesn't make it right or wrong. But if in here you could get away with not selling social, then it works for you guys. But you don't, do you?
We have one rule is that we like to have it integrated in with on air. So to tie it all back in. Otherwise, there's really no point in having someone who's, get $10 off an oil change, and it's like, what does this have to do with KQRS?
Right.
So even though it does provide value, but so that is the rule that we have locally.
Just for our education, so we've got a $10 oil change offer. We're integrating that into on-air. How? Can you use any example? Can you use an example where you've done what you're talking about?
Yeah. No, I'm just kidding. Using the on-air talent, which I guess there is a fine line between endorsements sometimes. So it usually does come with an endorsement.
Okay.
So whether it be using like native video or just even having them use their own Facebook channels as well, or Twitter. So somehow tying it back in with the on-air talent is the best way to engage our audience on the social channels.
And also when you're doing things, you can, obviously, if you're doing a $10 oil change, first of all, I
That's
can't
a
find
really
it.
bad example.
And I can't find a $10 oil
But
change
very
anywhere.
real world.
But I think if you can do creative ways to present that, even if it's a car dealer, like we did a video once with a visitors bureau, and it wasn't like, come visit Tennessee or come visit Knoxville or whatever. We created a video about Knoxville. You're driving around and you see, or not Knoxville, Chattanooga, excuse me. So you see the aquarium and you see all the beautiful downtown, and that was the video, and it was just kind of this native, and then it kind of works. You can work it into a travel segment, like on-air travel segment, or an on-air video or not on-air video, a online video. That would be difficult. But it can become something native and something more for the advertiser, still on your social, but it feels like you're doing something for the listener. Like, you live in Atlanta, it's only an hour and change north is beautiful Chattanooga, look at this, or Asheville, North Carolina, or, you have to think more than just the oil change or whatever, because again, just like in radio, selling spots, what else are you going to give the advertiser that's going to make it worth their while? So it doesn't do anybody any good if you are just advertising, like, come on down for a free sandwich and a drink if you buy a free fry or something.
Mm-hmm. So in this digital plan that we're writing, we've talked about what's important, why we're doing it. We've thought a little bit about who's going to do it, what we're going to do and not do. Leadership's been involved, the programmers are involved, so we're talking in the station voice at all times on social. So now you've got this plan, here's our plan. How do you go about rolling it out to the staff and communicating it to everyone that needs to now live out this plan?
When I got to Atlanta, they were in that kind of, let's do every social, let's do everything. So I shut it down. I said, nobody's posting on Facebook, nobody's posting on Twitter, we'll take care of it. We got it until we come up with a plan. Because also our websites, the way that we were just dealing with that, had to be reset. So once we got the O&Os and then we moved on, but the initial thing, and I told my boss, I said, hey, here's the deal. We're gonna get every jock to blog. It means, in general, it means nothing. Blogging is, it's nice to have them write a story. My point was, and I didn't share it with them, or with the talent, but I shared it with, my managers, is this is a way to introduce them to engaging with your site, or engaging with social, or engaging. We weren't doing it right, so let's reset, have them do something, and sure enough, the program director / afternoon drive guy on our rock station, this is stupid, not doing it, blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. 6 months later of having him do it, he starts posting to Facebook his blogs and all that, and starts doing it what I consider the right way, may or may not be. And he starts seeing likes, and he starts seeing comments, and he starts seeing reaction, and he starts getting feedback. And then he's broadcasting live for the summer from Piedmont Park and doing things, and he's posting pictures, and people love it because it's somewhere in there, it clued in for him what that connection was. It's easy to do it on the air, right? Because that's what we do. But to turn that connection then to standing out on a social stream and what makes people read it and do it, he saw it. And then once he saw it, then I began using him as examples at every staff meeting, because we had, digital meetings of ways to do it. And then he was the ambassador. He went around, and we have 40-something personalities, and every single one of those people were contributing. And then that led to, okay, during your shift, you're gonna post. It's like post minimum twice, but post as much as you want. If you see reaction, post. I'm not going to tell you how to connect to your audience. I'm not an Urban AC listener. I'm not a classic rock listener. You know your audience. You decide how it works. And then that started clicking in, and people, if they got 2 likes, they were done. They knew it. They weren't over posting. But it becomes finding, like you said, that kind of ambassador at the station, and showing why, and then letting them lead the charge. And that, for us, worked phenomenal.
We have an on-air personality on our classic rock station who, I swear the guy does not know how to turn on a computer, but he somehow finds the most on-point memes, one a day to post, that are just explode on our KQ's Facebook page. I don't know where he's finding it, because like I said, the guy can't even turn on a computer, but it's incredible to what he knows our audience. He's been doing this for 30 plus years. He knows our audience. He knows what they're going to find funny, and we trust him to do that. We don't let him touch the computer, really, besides that, but yeah.